Welcome, friends. My name is Emmy. I'm a CZT, that means Certified Zentangle Teacher. I'm real excited to be here today for part 2 of our seascape. So as you can see, I'm using the same tools as I like to use. I'm using my micron pen, I'm using my blender stump, and I'm using my trusty pencil. I have an eraser in case I need it. I have a piece of chocolate in case I need it. Kisses are always welcome, aren't they? So whether you've been here before or not, I hope you were able to watch the introductory video, and so that you'll see that we made this cute little fish, and you'll also be aware of the instructions. And these are the supplies that I had asked you to grab and cut out. So hopefully you have your 8x8. We'll do part 2 today. We have a couple other parts ahead of us as well. You'll like some scrap paper. And if you have a shell, be sure to grab that, not for today, for 2 days down the road, plenty of time ahead. And make sure you're willing and open heart. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad we're together to have this fun time. So our seascape. Let's continue to talk about our patterns. You probably remember when we did this together in our last session, and you may decide you want to use him in your seascape, in your Sea-cret. He would be quite welcome under the sea. And here's where we're going. So this is kind of what I envisioned. Now yours is going to look different than mine. That would be normal. Our work will always look quite a bit different from each other, but it's all going on under the sea, isn't it? It's just like when we go to swimming and nobody knows what goes on below the water. Ha ha. That's what I always say. So I have my piece of paper. I encourage you to keep that spare piece. If you cut this out from a piece of cardstock and you have extra, hang on to this, especially if you decide to do color pencils on your seascape later. This paper will come in handy down the road, so don't discard it yet. I already took a moment with my pencil and I did dots in the corner, and I did diagonal lines, and then I also took the time to write out the word Sea-cret. Now you may have a different phrase or word that you want to say, but what I did is put a simple pencil line across. Pencil's always made to be changed and erased, and then I wrote the word sea and cret. I'm switching over to pen now so that we can do these letters in faux calligraphy. To start with, what we're going to do is just outline or trace what we already have on here. Going from pen or pencil to pen is a wonderful opportunity to clean up anything that we may not have liked. Like I thought that C was a little bit small. Now that I've got that, I'm going to go over this on every time I have a downstroke only, I'm going to double it. So this is single stroke, and then see double. Single on the straight, double on the curve. On the same thing with this. Single on the straight, double on the curve, single on the straight, and double. And that is just that simple, okay? So single on the straight, double on the downstroke, single, and here, double on the downstroke, and back to single. This will stay the same, the hyphen. On the C, on the side, nothing. On the downstroke, we will double and finish. On the R, nothing, but then on the downstroke, double, single, and double on the downstroke. On the E, straight, double on the upstroke there, which is also a downstroke, And then when I come around here, double. On the T, that's a total downstroke till I get to the bottom of the T. Downstroke and nothing. And this is straight, so we'll leave it right alone. And now we've got our Sea-cret. Now you might want to change it up and do our Sea-cret, which would be fun too, which means we would put the O-U, our R, right up in here maybe. I don't know. I'm just going to leave that for today. I think that's quite enough for this fun project we're doing. So the first thing I want to do is Squid. It's by Sandy Bartholomew. And I always like to write down the patterns and the authors, the creator of the pattern, in case you want to look this up. So today we're doing Squid and Antidots. We'll do some Flux and Fescue, and they're both from Zentangle headquarters. So hang on. Squid is very much on the job training, and I'm gonna, as you can see from my sample here again, I'm gonna put at least 2 squids in here. But watch how this goes. You're gonna love this. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is put some orbs, but I darken one part of the orb. An orb and darken it again. I'm gonna do a whole series of these. If you're familiar with Zentangle, this would look a lot to you like a pattern that's called Bronx Cheer. Here's another one. I'm trying to make a center for my squid. So I go round and then I thicken only part of it, leaving a little tiny bit of white here and there. Just like everything in Zentangle, you should get back from it a little bit, look at it and see, now is that kind of wonky? Like maybe do I need another one up here to make this look a little more balanced? I think I do. And that is a better looking Bronx Cheer. So it is also a center for squid. This is what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna come up here with a long tentacle, just a single. And then I'm gonna come right back on it here. I'm gonna do that down below too. Come out about approximately the same amount. Come back, and like that. Turn my paper, do it again on the 2 sides. I think that's a little too short. And then I want to do the intermediates. So I'm going to come out, all out, 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 and then back in. Out and back in. Do you see how all of these tentacles are looking slightly different than each other? Some are a little longer, some are a little shorter. And now I'm going to do an interesting thing. So kind of watch just for a minute. I'm going to go up and I'm going to do what's called hollabaugh. Go behind here and then come back down. Lift my pen again and back to center. It's very fun to alternate these a bit. So this one I'm going to go out and back the other direction. And down. I think that needs another one in the middle, don't you? Underneath and back. Just leave a straight line there. Don't you love this pattern? I knew you would. And back. This one went that way, so I'd like this one to go the other direction. Best I can. Add tentacles in where you need them. Isn't that just pretty? I knew you'd like it. So the next thing I want to do, the second part of this fun pattern, is to put orbs between these areas. You kind of have to pay attention to, like, there isn't any room on that one. There is room for a couple of tiny ones on here. I have an area here I can add a few. I am trying to have them amount to a similar thing. That said, in nature, I'm not sure there's going to be perfection, if you know what I mean, any more than there is in our world. Things are made to be changed and different. I don't think that one's going to show up. Here's another. And some of them I feel like I can fit two, so I will go ahead and do that. Here's a hollow area. Now that looks really wonky. I really would like to have that look a little more coordinated. Like, for instance, this is so far out. Of course, it could be that some are just coming loose, you know. I think maybe what I'll do is allow for that and maybe have a couple of extras coming down. Maybe I'll allow for some extras coming out here too. See where that takes us a little ways down the road. Don't you love it? So I'd like to add another one of these. I'm going to kind of go in this region for me. You should do it the way you see it on yours, anywhere you like. And I'm actually going to try to have this one be a little bit smaller, no promises. So make the orb darken half so you're left with a little bit of light source. And then start those tentacles. And once I feel I've got enough on there, then I'll go ahead and add the go behind or hollabaugh. Fun. You'll get those orbs in here. There, I hope you like yours. Let's do what we did before and add a few coming out, maybe sliding on down. And see where that takes us down the way. That one's just gonna slip right off. Maybe one will get hooked on there. Kind of fun. You can easily do more as you choose. So the next pattern, next thing we're gonna do is add a wheel. And this is how my wheel looks. I have quite a few different choices of wheels, but what I'm gonna do is anchor it on the side. So I'm gonna come along like this with my wheel, switch to pencil right away. And then I'm gonna have another section of my wheel kind of drifting in the sand here. Now I need the other part of the wheel. And then I need the spokes. So I'm gonna take the spokes up and around, back, take another spoke up and around. Another one here. It's kind of buried in the sand, remember, way below the sea. So you may or may not be able to see all of these, or the person who's viewing it may not. I don't even know if there's enough room. I might get one started there. There. When I've got that, then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to put some orbs. I'm going to use my pen or pencil, whichever I chose. Darken behind. See how I'm kind of doing that, darkening as I go. And I can easily have some be larger and some be smaller, or I can change my pencil, of course, so that they're all closer in size. Loosen your shoulders, relax. Mine is getting too large there. You don't like that. So I'm gonna take it down. That's a big wheel, isn't it? Wow, beautiful. So I want to take a minute and do my spokes, and I also want to do what I have going into the sand here. So I'm going to do a little different treatment on this. Instead of the orbs, I'm going to come along here with a series of smallish squares, just for something different. This is kind of an odd shape. It's because of the angle. So you should trust your judgment and do yours the way you see it. Kind of want them to be going into space just a little bit there, but I will darken behind this. It's summertime where I am in Michigan, and my husband is out there mowing. Can you hear him? One of those gorgeous summer days where all the windows are open. So how pretty is this? Let's take a minute and get those spokes darkened in. I think I'm going to leave that here. And then I'm going to bring this one here. Expand it ever so slightly from my pencil. Change my angle a little tiny bit here. I really want to darken the wood. So I don't want it, I want it to be a little bit craggy. You know what I mean? Like it would be under the sea. So I'm gonna put a series of, I don't know what you'd call them, like little hollow areas with my pen. I can make it look like they're not quite right. And then I want to put a few lines in here too, like they've been weathered. Nice. Do the same thing here. I'll come along and do a few indentations. And then do the same thing, some darkening. Line striations, and one more. It gives the illusion almost of having a bite out of it or something, doesn't it? So if some of them are deeper on yours, I can't wait to see. I hope you show me. Put it on Emmy's Zen Friends, the Facebook site. Then we can all see it. So if later you come along and decide to do color on this, then you'll be able to darken it even more. But at this point, all I have is my pen to darken it. So I have a little bite out of that one too, maybe. Very fun. So the last thing I want to do today is I want to take a line up the side of a pattern called anti-dots. Here's my example of anti-dots, and I think this is a wonderful anchor. So I'm going to do that, and it's very easy to show how to do it on the job. So I'm going to come along here with a largish, long, like an orb or something like that, that's long instead of round. And then this is a one pen situation. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go round once, and then I'm going to go around again. and that's anti-dots. So you can take them off of any angle. Here, I'll do one over here, and then around, and you can go back and forth depending on what your pen feels like doing today. I'm going to do another one over here. Around, back. I'm going to start traveling up the line that we originally made here together. Around and back. Kind of a little bit of a teardrop, wouldn't you think? Around and back. Relax your shoulders. This is where you can really get your zen. You may decide to pause me so that you can do this lovely, lovely pattern in your own space and time, your own way. If you do, we'll meet back up just in a few minutes. Okay, now that I have those done, I'd like to go back and add some flux and some fescue. Flux is a very similar, like a sister pattern almost. Flux is like this. And then usually you add 2 dots in it. Fescue is a stick with a bit of a knob at the end of it. Perfect for adding in here. So wherever, I'm going to go back over this pattern and add some flux. Wherever it seems to me it might be interesting. So you'll kind of look yours over and decide. I'm sure that yours is quite different by now. You can achieve quite a different look by turning your paper periodically. And then I'm going to come back now that I've done that and add that fescue periodically. Very, very, very fun. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson as much as I have. And if you haven't already had a chance to eat your chocolate, go and do so now. I hope you'll please like our video, what we've been working on, and I hope to see you at the next session, which will be session 3 of this series, and have a good day. I'm glad to see you, and see you again soon. Bye.